What's up, people? Thought I would do a quick pickups video of some mostly boxed Game Boy games I found at a used bookstore last night. I hadn't been there for a while, so I thought I would just stop in, and it seems like, I don't know, maybe somebody brought a bunch of stuff all at once, or a store closed, or whatever, but there was a bunch of stuff that they don't usually have because that store isn't always, or isn't often, very good for finding stuff. But last night there was a cache of Game Boy games, and I tried to pick out ones that I wanted, and I tried to leave the good stuff that I already had for other people because I thought that was the thing to do. But I might have grabbed a couple that I already had just because, I wanted them, and even if I already had them once. And there is that too. Right, so I go on. Even though it's a store in Japan, I found this. Where's the camera? Okay. Little focus would be nice. DuckTales 2. Most of you, or many of you, might know that the NES cartridge of this is quite rare. Obviously the Game Boy one is not. It says right there it's a million seller. This is an American cartridge, which explains why I never see it in Japan. But I've never seen this anywhere before in Japan. That doesn't mean you can't find it, but I've never seen it. So I snatched that up. I'll tell you the prices for these at the end of the video, so stay tuned. And I've got these kind of split into categories. So next is the Kirby category. So here we have a boxed copy of Hoshi no Kabi, whatever that's called, the first Kirby game, I think, on the Game Boy. Then Kabi no Pinball, so Kirby's Pinball, also on the Game Boy. And Koro Koro Kabi on the Game Boy Color. Right. Next is kind of a Mario, or at least mostly Mario family, we'll call it, themed pile. So I had this before, but I don't think I had a box, or if I do, the box isn't in very good shape. I can clean this up. This is just some sticker residue. So yeah, Super Mario Land in the box. And complete. All these are complete in the boxes. The ones that are in boxes are all complete, I should say. And then the sequel to that one. I like how they have the former price and the new price. And I actually played these games when they were new, so it's neat to have them again with the boxes. I definitely would not have kept the boxes when I was a kid, though. Wario Land. For the Game Boy. And I'll say it now, I guess. Basically all of these cost either $1 or $2. And the Game Boy Gallery, which is some Game & Watch games redone. So that's kind of cool. Okay, next is the Bomberman pile. This is the Game Boy Bomberman collection, and it's also has some special features, or maybe colorization, I'm not exactly sure, for the Super Game Boy on the Super Famicom or Super Nintendo. It'll work. But this is my first game to have this kind of a case. It looks like a Band-Aid case in the US, I guess, or maybe like gum or something, but I don't even want to open it that many times because I don't want to mess it up. But it's kind of cool how this is the case for the game, and then you just pop it out, and there it is. It's the game and the manual. So I don't know why they decided to do that, but it's kind of neat now because it's different, right? So yeah, one more look at that in the back. And then Bomberman Game Boy 2. This one also appears to have some, I'm just looking at it, hold on. Anyway, at least it says you can play it on the Super Game Boy, but I'm not sure if that means that they did some of the games, they did some sort of extra stuff for them, for when you do play them with the Super Game Boy, but I'm not sure, so I won't say. And then this was weird. This is an American game, in the box. Why is this at a Japanese used bookstore? I don't know, but I'm glad. Once in a while they pop up. Newer games you might find them more often, but especially retro games, it's just not so common to find them. So yeah, Pocket Bomberman for the Game Boy Color. And it says you can play it on the regular Game Boy too. So I'm just happy to have, like, I think this might be my only boxed American Game Boy Color game right now, because I just, I don't live in the US now, so I don't really have a chance to buy games like that. I think I would have one PAL one. Okay, next is shooters. Okay, and this is a different one. This is Volley Fire, and it was basically new. I opened it up and it just had no evidence of ever having been opened. And this is basically a cross between Combat for the Atari 2600 and Space Invaders. It's you against another ship, and you're just shooting back and forth with obstacles sliding across in between you. Once in a while there's a power-up. Very seldom do they come, but there are power-ups. It's kind of a neat idea, but I would consider this to be part of the shooter genre, loosely, at least. A couple loose carts. This is, where is it? Okay, better do focus again. This is, and that didn't really help, Galaga and Galaxian on one cart. Kinda cool. I didn't have that before. And then this, where are you, is the Taito Variety Pack, and this has Bubble Bobble, Chase HQ, something else I'm trying hard to remember, and shoot, what are they? Anyway, basically the Darius game for the Game Boy, which is called I can't remember. Shoot. And I can't remember what the other game is on here either, but it does have a Darius game on it, so that's why I included this. And this was only $1 and what, like 30 cents. And then my best find of the day, someone had, like, all these Game Boy games were together, and I went through all of them one by one. It took me probably 20 minutes. And then I just kind of decided to do a stroll around the rest of the store, and I found this laying in, like, the PS1 section. It was like somebody had grabbed it and either forgotten that they'd grabbed it, or they decided they weren't going to buy it. But this is the Game Boy Collection Volume 1. I don't know what it runs for in the States, but this, I've seen this box for, like, I don't know, 20 bucks anyway in Japan. I'm not so concerned about the price. I just think it's awesome. This has Gradius, Contra, hold on, I'll show you the back, Dracula Gaiden, and Konami Racing. So anyway, 4 games, at least 3 of them are really good. I'm not sure about the racing game, on one cart, and I got this for 150 yen, so like $2 basically, a little less than $2. So I thought that was pretty sweet. I grabbed those, and it was awesome. So thanks for watching, and we're already 8 minutes. I'll be back with more at some point. Bye-bye.